Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, thank you for stopping by. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on your bell notification. So in this video, I'll be sharing with you the different necklines. I'll be sharing with you a lot of them, at least about 6 or even 7. So please stay tuned and keep on watching till the end. So guys, these are the papers I'll be working with. These are basic bodice patterns. I'm using my own measurement. Guys, please make sure you like this video. It took me a lot to sacrifice this amount of pattern papers to illustrate this to you. Thank you and I appreciate. So the first neckline I'm going to start with now is the V neckline. And I marked 3 inches there, and I'll be marking 7 inches as the depth, or let me use 7.5 inches. So this depends on how deep. So your width at the top depends on how deep you want to make your neckline. If the top part is narrow, that's not wide, make sure your depth is wide so that it can be comfortable to wear. And now I'm just going to connect that to the top part. You can make that as your neckline, it's okay, but if you want, you can as well curve it just a bit like this. So I'll be cutting the two types so that you can see how you can cut your V neckline. It depends on your own preference. So I'll cut out the straight V neckline now so that you can see what it looks like. Then I'll go ahead and cut out the other one. So this is the straight V neckline. But if you want to add some spice to it, make it look a little bit better, or this is totally optional, you can decide to make your V neckline to look this way. So I'll cut out the curve now and show you what it looks like. So after cutting it out, this is what it looks like. It also looks good. And now the next neckline I'll be making is the sweetheart neckline. So I'll be marking 3.5 inches at the top part, and I'll be marking 7 inches as the depth of this neckline. And the next thing I need to do is to mark another line as the depth. I'll be using 4.5 inches. Once I've marked that point, I'll rule it out to meet the width point like that. And on that line, I'm going to mark the width, which is 3.5 inches. And what I'm going to do now is to use my curved ruler to connect that point to the 7 inches I made below, like this, with a curve. And then I'll just draw a straight line like this, and then I'm going to cut this out. It is as simple as that. So I'll go ahead and cut it out following that curve. Make sure you follow that curve just the way it looks. And I'm going to cut it out like this. So guys, please take note of the fact that when you're making your neckline, it totally depends on your preference. You can decide you want to expose your cleavage a bit. You can decide you want it higher. It just depends on you. So guys, this is how this is looking, and it looks so beautiful. And now the next neckline I need to make requires that I open up my pattern paper like this, and it's called an asymmetric neckline. So from the center point like that, I'm going to mark 3 inches. Totally depends on what you want. And then at this point, at the other side here, so first of all, I'm going to mark my chest line on this paper because I did not mark it on this pattern, on this particular paper. So your chest line is just a guide which helps you to take note of how exposed your neckline is going to look. And now from that point, I'm going to go in by about 4 inches or even 5.5. It just to make the other side to be more open compared to the other side. And from that point, I'll go down by another 5.5 inches, and I would rule it out like this. So after doing that, I'll simply connect this point to the other point like this. And we have our asymmetric neckline. So I'll go ahead now and cut this out, and we're done. So take your time and cut it out, and this is what you're going to get. And now the next neckline I will be making is called the Monostrap neckline, and I've marked from the center line 3 inches. And now you're going to decide how deep you want your neckline to go. And for the sake of this tutorial, I will be making use of 5 inches. So this depends on what you want. I have a detailed video on how to cut a monostrap bustier. I'll be linking that in the description box so that you can watch that video. So once you're done with that, all you need to do is to connect that point to that point, like the other point, like this. And this is just like taking off one part of the shoulder. So this is why it is called a monostrap neckline, because it's just one shoulder that will be left. So I'm going to cut this out, and there we have our monostrap neckline. So guys, it's as simple as this. I'll be linking the other video so you too can watch it. And now the next neckline I'll be working on is a regular round neck, and here the standard measurement is 3 inches by 3 inches, or you can make yours 3.5 inches width and 3 inches depth. So now I'm going to square that line out to meet that point, and I'll rule that line as well. And all I need to do is to put my curved ruler from the top point to the other point, as you can see. So this is really easy. I think this is like the most popular neckline to cut out. So I'll just place it like that, and I'm going to rule like this. So after doing that, I'm going to cut it out so that you can see what it looks like. So this is our neckline. As you can see, it's looking so beautiful. And now the next neckline I'm working on is the Princess Anne neckline. So I will be marking 3 inches as the width. And first of all, I'm just going to mark my chest line, which is 8 inches. So this is just serving as a guide for me so that I can tell how exposed my neckline is going to be. So now I mark 7.5 inches as the depth of this neckline. And just like the other sweetheart neckline, I'm going to mark another line in between the top part and the original, which is 4.5 inches. I'll mark that line there. Then the next thing I'm going to do is decide how deep I want this second line to go by. And I think 5 to 6 inches is fine for this part. So I'll mark 5.5 inches now, and I will rule out that line. So just keep on watching. You're going to understand what I'm doing here. And once I've ruled out that line, I'm just going to create another curve from this point to the other point there. That's the 7.5 inches I'm using for my neckline. And now I'll also connect that one with a straight line to meet the top part like this. When I cut this out, you'll be seeing how beautiful the neckline will turn out to be. So take your time and cut out, following all the curves you can see. And guys, I made a corset top that has this neckline. If you've not seen that video, please make sure you watch that video. I will be linking that also in the description box. If you're yet to subscribe to this channel, please make sure you subscribe. It is absolutely free to subscribe. Guys, look at how beautiful this is looking. Now the next neckline I'll be working on is a yoke. And to do that, I've marked 2 inches as the depth of the first neckline, because we're going to have 2 different necklines here. Now the next neckline, that's the width of this neckline is 3 inches. I'll mark the regular round neck line here, and I'll cut it out. Then after that, you'll see what I'll be doing next. So I'll connect that like this, just like this, and I'll cut it out. So after cutting out that neckline, I would now go ahead to decide how I want my yoke to be. Like I always say, this totally depends on your preference. So for me now, I will be going down from that line by about 4.5 inches to 5 inches. You can decide to make yours 6 inches. It depends on the body type, like how the body measurements are. So I'm using 4.5 inches. And the next thing I need to do is to mark the neckline, the second neckline. And the second neckline is going to be 7 inches. This means that my body will not be exposed beyond 7 inches. And after doing that, I will rule out a line, and this will serve as my neckline. I'll label that neckline. And now after doing that, I'm going to come on the chest, on that neckline area, and I'll mark about 5 to 6 inches, or 5 is just okay, or 6 inches. So I'm going to use 6 inches and I'll create a curve. So I'm going to create a curve from that point to the top part like this. And if you want, you can create another neckline going down towards the bust area, like a sweetheart neckline. But I'm going to leave this like this, and I'll label that yoke. So this part is going to be cut out and attached to the bodice again. So please make sure when you're cutting this out, you add about ½ inches here at the bottom part so that you can join it back to the main bodice. And now the next neckline I'm going to create is the wrap, and that's the center line, which is my guide, and I'm going to go out by about 8 inches or 7 inches. This depends on you. And then on the other part, I'm going to go down by how much I want it to cross over, and I'll mark 10 inches at that point. So I'm going to connect these 3 points I have made like this. So as you can see, that center line, if you take it up, your bust will be more covered. If you bring it lower, your bust will be exposed. So make sure when you're doing this, you just take note of where your chest line and your bust line is, so that you don't make a mistake and, make your dress to be different from what you want it to look like. So now I'm going to cut this out. After cutting this out, I'll simply place this on another paper. I'll turn it upside down and cut on another paper like this. So when you're cutting on your fabric, make sure you turn it to the other side so that you can get 2 parts that are right sides with a different direction, if that makes sense. So if you want a tutorial on how to make a wrap top, please drop a comment. I'll be so glad to create one. Please, you guys should try to drop comments on my posts, okay, so that I'll know what you like to see. Okay, if you are watching or you've watched till this point, please drop a comment. It would really mean a lot to me. Thank you so much, guys, for watching, and see you in my next video. Bye.